Powerful dynasties, the Tudors.
The Tudors were not just a royal family. They were a force that shaped the future of England and Europe. But behind their iconic portraits and royal pageantry lay secrets, betrayals, and power plays that would determine their rise, and ultimately, their fall. From Henry VII's victory in the Battle of Bosworth in 1485 to Elizabeth I's golden age between 1558 to 1603, the Tudors ruled with ambition and often blood.
Act 1. The birth of a dynasty.
It all began on a battlefield. In 1485, Henry Tudor claimed victory at the Battle of Bosworth Field, ending the Wars of the Roses and becoming Henry VII of England. A new dynasty was born, one that would unite a fractured kingdom and usher in a new era. But Henry's victory wasn't guaranteed. He had spent years in exile, and his claim to the throne was weak. Rivals circled like vultures, waiting for any chance to strike. Henry needed to secure his throne, and to do that, he needed an heir. But securing the future of a dynasty is never easy.
Act 2. Henry VIII. Ambition and betrayal.
When Henry VIII came to power, the Tudor dynasty seemed secure. Young, athletic, and charismatic, Henry was everything a king should be. But his reign would be defined by one obsession: an heir to secure the Tudor legacy. But Catherine of Aragon could not give him a male heir. Henry's desperation grew, and in that desperation, he would change the course of English history forever. Divorce was unheard of under Catholic rule, but Henry's ambition knew no bounds. He would break from the Catholic Church, severing ties with Rome, to get what he wanted. But the price of power is often blood. Henry's marriage to Anne Boleyn would bring chaos to the court. Rivals lurked in the shadows, and Anne's inability to produce a male heir would seal her fate. Henry had loved her once, but now she was an obstacle in his path, and obstacles were removed.
Act 3. The ruthless pursuit of power.
At last, Henry had his male heir, Edward VI, but the victory was bittersweet. Jane Seymour, the one wife Henry claimed to love, died just days after giving birth to Edward. Still, the future of the Tudor dynasty seemed secure. But England was a kingdom on edge. Religious turmoil, the execution of queens, and the growing threat of war loomed over Henry's later years. His paranoia deepened, and his health failed. By the time of Henry's death, the kingdom was fraught with division. His young son, Edward, was too fragile to hold it together.
Act 4. Turmoil and the shadow of the throne.
Edward VI, the golden child Henry fought so hard for, would reign for just 6 years, from 1547 to 1553. His death sparked a succession crisis and plunged England into chaos once again. The crown passed to Mary, Henry's first daughter. A devout Catholic, she sought to undo her father's legacy and restore Catholicism to England. Her reign would earn her the nickname Bloody Mary. But it wasn't just her enemies that Mary destroyed. She also burned the bridges to a united England. Her marriage to Philip II of Spain and her brutal methods isolated her from her people.
Act 5. Elizabeth I. The last Tudor.
When Elizabeth, the daughter of Anne Boleyn and Henry VIII, and half-sister of her predecessor Mary, came to the throne, the Tudor dynasty was hanging by a thread. England was divided, the future uncertain. But Elizabeth would restore the kingdom to its former glory, leading some to call it a golden age, all the while keeping an eye on her enemies. Plots to assassinate her were constant. The shadow of her mother's execution hung over her. The threat from Catholic Spain was ever present, and the question of her successor loomed large. But Elizabeth's greatest struggle was within her own court. It was expected that Elizabeth would marry and produce an heir. Would she secure an heir for the Tudor line? Or would the dynasty end with her? Despite numerous courtships, she never married. Because of this, she is sometimes referred to as the Virgin Queen.
Conclusion. The fall of the Tudors.
Elizabeth ruled for 45 years, but in the end, she would die childless. The Tudor dynasty, born in blood and ambition, would die with her. She was the last monarch of the Tudor dynasty, who ruled England and Ireland between 1485 and 1603. It was the end of an era, but their legacy would shape England for centuries to come. From battlefield victories to brutal betrayals, the Tudors rose to the highest of heights, only to fall from them. Subscribe now to unravel more secrets of powerful families and their dynasties.